The Awakening. The quantum stabilizer hummed with perfect precision as Dr. Maya Rivera made her final adjustments. Through the reinforced windows of her laboratory on Europa Station, Jupiter's swirling storms provided a dramatic backdrop to her work. The Galactic Council had granted humanity this research outpost as a generous gift, allowing limited quantum experimentation under their watchful eye. Mom, the entanglement pattern is holding at 98% coherence, called Sophia from her workstation. At 15, Maya's daughter possessed an intuitive understanding of quantum mechanics that surpassed most of the Council's certified experts. Her dark eyes sparkled with the same curiosity that had driven Maya throughout her own career. "That's impossible," Maya muttered, moving to verify her daughter's readings. The Council's theoretical models cap coherence at 70%. Sophia allowed herself a small smile. "Their models are wrong. I've been working on something." She pulled up a series of equations on her private terminal, equations Maya had never seen before. If we reconfigure the quantum field to work with natural spacetime curvature instead of against it, we can achieve near-perfect coherence. Maya studied the equations, a chill running down her spine. This wasn't just an incremental improvement. This was revolutionary, the kind of breakthrough the Council actively suppressed. For 2 centuries, the Galactic Council had presented itself as humanity's benevolent guide to the stars. They arrived when Earth had barely established its first Mars colony, offering technology, knowledge, and membership in their vast interstellar community. But the gifts came with conditions: strict technological development pathways, carefully controlled spaceflight capabilities, and most importantly, absolute adherence to the Council's technological hierarchies. "Sophia, how long have you been working on this?" Maya asked quietly, already calculating how to hide this discovery from the Council's weekly inspection. "About 6 months, Sophia admitted. I've been running simulations during night cycle when the monitoring systems are on low power." She hesitated. "Mom, this could change everything. If we applied this to propulsion systems, we could achieve instantaneous travel without relying on the Council's gate network." Maya said nothing, but her eyes conveyed her pride and her fear. The Council had made it abundantly clear what happened to species that developed technologies outside their approved progression path. The Arcturians had developed their own FTL system 80 years ago. Now they existed only in historical records, their home system quarantined behind warning beacons, their fate described as a tragic technological miscalculation. "We need to be careful," Maya finally said. "Let's encode this into your music compositions. The Council monitors never bother with those." The next day, Maya returned from a supply run to find Europa Station in chaos. Emergency crews swarmed the quantum labs, and Council security forces had established a perimeter. An accident, they called it. A quantum stabilizer malfunction in the student research wing. 3 casualties, including Sophia Rivera. Maya's world collapsed. She moved through the following weeks like a ghost, accepting condolences, reviewing the accident reports that made less sense the more she examined them. Sophia had been meticulous. She would never have attempted a quantum experiment without proper safeguards. The truth arrived 4 weeks after the funeral, in the form of an encrypted message on Maya's private terminal. The sender identification simply read Legacy. "Dr. Rivera, your daughter's death was no accident. The Council eliminated her because she discovered what they've worked centuries to hide. If you want to know why, and how to make them pay, meet me at the abandoned Shackleton mining facility on Luna. Come alone. Earth has more secrets than the Council knows." Maya had nothing left to lose. She booked passage to Luna on the first available shuttle. The Shackleton facility lay in the permanent shadow of the lunar South Pole, abandoned decades ago when more efficient helium-3 extraction methods made its operations obsolete, or so the public records claimed. As Maya approached in her rented surface vehicle, she expected ruins. Instead, she found new airlocks, modern security systems, and armed guards who seemed to be expecting her. "Dr. Rivera," a soldier greeted her, his face grim but respectful. Admiral Chen is waiting. The elevator took them deep below the lunar surface, far deeper than any mining operation should have gone. When the doors opened, Maya stepped into a vast cavern that shouldn't exist and contained what shouldn't be possible. Ships, dozens of them. Sleek vessels unlike any council-approved design, their hulls gleaming with a strange, almost organic sheen. Workers swarmed around them, installing components, running diagnostics. This was no small resistance operation. This was a fleet. Impressive, isn't it? A woman in a dark uniform approached, her silver-streaked hair pulled back in a tight bun. Admiral Lin Chen, Earth Defense Initiative. I'm sorry about your daughter, Dr. Rivera. Sophia's work was brilliant. You knew about her research? Maya asked, still struggling to process what she was seeing. We've been watching you both for years. Sophia's quantum coherence breakthrough was exactly what we needed. Chen gestured for Maya to follow her toward a central command platform overlooking the cavern. The Council didn't just kill your daughter because she was advancing too quickly. They killed her because she accidentally rediscovered something humans already knew, something we've kept hidden for 200 years. On the command platform, Chen activated a holographic display. It showed Earth 2 centuries earlier. A massive object in orbit, clearly not built by human hands. Before the Council discovered us, we found this, Chen explained. A derelict ship of unknown origin. Advanced beyond anything we'd achieved. We reverse-engineered what we could before the Council arrived, then hid everything, including the knowledge itself. That's impossible, Maya protested. Human history is thoroughly documented. The Council's arrival is taught in every school. Chen smiled thinly. The history they allowed to be recorded, yes. But ask yourself this. Why did a supposedly advanced, benevolent civilization need to control human technological development so strictly? Why do they restrict quantum research specifically? She changed the display to show a galactic map with hundreds of worlds marked in different colors. The Council isn't a coalition of advanced species guiding younger civilizations. It's a parasitic entity that maintains power by ensuring no species advances enough to challenge them. They've done this thousands of times, find promising young civilizations, offer guidance, then deliberately stunt their development while extracting resources and talent. Maya's mind raced, connecting dots that had troubled her for years. The arbitrary technological restrictions, the convenient accidents that befell promising researchers, the way humanity's expansion had slowed rather than accelerated after Council contact. We knew what they were from the beginning, Chen continued. So we played along. We showed them what they expected. An eager, somewhat primitive species grateful for guidance. Meanwhile, we built this. She gestured to the fleet below. The Legacy Project. Ships that combine what we learned from the derelict with 2 centuries of secret research. Your daughter unknowingly created the final piece we needed. Why tell me this now? Maya asked, though she already knew the answer. Because we need you to finish what Sophia started. With her quantum coherence breakthrough, these ships can finally achieve their full potential. And the Council has just made their biggest mistake. They've given humanity a reason to stop hiding. Maya looked out over the fleet, thinking of Sophia's bright eyes and brilliant mind, extinguished because she dared to think beyond the boundaries imposed upon humanity. When do we start? She asked. The reckoning. 6 months later, Dr. Maya Rivera stood in the quantum core of the flagship Sophia's Legacy, watching as the final calibrations aligned perfectly. The ship hummed around her, its systems integrating with her modifications in ways the Council would never have imagined possible. Quantum coherence at 99.8%, she reported to Admiral Chen on the bridge. The entire fleet is synchronized and ready. The Legacy fleet had remained hidden in the shadows of moons and asteroids throughout the solar system, preparing for this moment. 50 ships, each incorporating technology the Council had specifically forbidden. Quantum entanglement drives, neural interface systems, and weapons that could manipulate the fabric of space itself. All ships report ready, Admiral, the communications officer announced. The Arcturian resistance has confirmed they're in position. The Moran and Krelian underground movements are standing by. Chen nodded grimly. Begin Operation Disclosure. Maya felt the ship shift beneath her feet as it entered quantum transit, not through the Council's heavily monitored gate network, but through the very fabric of space itself. The sensation lasted less than a heartbeat before the viewscreen showed their destination, the Council's central communications hub orbiting Centauri Prime. For centuries, this installation had been the nerve center of Council control in this sector of the galaxy. All communications, from official directives to private messages, passed through its quantum relays, filtered, monitored, and often censored before being allowed to proceed. They've detected us, Tactical reported. Council defense vessels moving to intercept. Time to weapons range. 3 minutes. But the Legacy fleet didn't need 3 minutes. Using Sophia's coherence principles, the ships established a synchronized quantum field that extended across the formation. To Council sensors, they appeared to be everywhere and nowhere at once. Their signals multiplied and scattered across space. Their targeting systems can't lock onto us, Tactical announced with quiet satisfaction. They're firing blindly. Maya watched from the quantum core as the battle unfolded. The Council ships were impressive by conventional standards, massive, heavily armed, and protected by energy shields that had deterred rebellion for millennia. But against ships they couldn't properly target, using technology they didn't understand, their advantage meant nothing. All ships, execute Pattern Omega, Chen ordered. Dr. Rivera, you may begin the transmission. Maya activated the sequence she had prepared, a combination of Sophia's quantum coherence technology and the communication protocols they had extracted from the ancient derelict. The quantum cores of all 50 ships synchronized, creating a resonance that bypassed the hub's defenses entirely. Throughout Council space, carefully maintained communication channels suddenly fell silent. In their place came the truth. Data packets containing historical records the Council had suppressed, technological breakthroughs they had hidden, and evidence of their systematic oppression of hundreds of species. We're receiving responses, communications reported, wonder in her voice. Thousands of them. From everywhere, Council worlds, protectorate planets, even species we thought were extinct. The Arcturians had maintained a secret resistance for decades after their supposed extinction. The Mirans had developed biological computing while pretending technological stagnation. The Krelians had built hidden shipyards beneath their oceanic settlements. Dozens of species had prepared in secret, waiting for a catalyst, waiting for someone to prove the Council could be challenged. That catalyst was humanity, and the spark had been the death of a brilliant child who asked too many questions. On the hub's main communication channel, Admiral Chen delivered humanity's message. For too long, the Council has ruled through deception and division. They have murdered our brightest minds, suppressed our advancement, and convinced us all that we need their guidance. Today, that ends. To all who remember freedom, to all who dream of it, the time has come. The Council's response was swift and desperate. Their military command deployed weapons platforms they had claimed were too dangerous to use, revealing their hypocrisy even as they tried to maintain control. Massive energy signatures indicated they were activating ancient systems that predated even their rise to power. They're targeting research centers, Tactical reported, trying to prevent more worlds from accessing suppressed technologies. But they can't stop it now, Maya said, watching the quantum transmission network expand exponentially as each liberated world joined the broadcast. The knowledge is spreading too fast. The combined fleet of formerly suppressed species grew by the hour. The Arcturians brought their crystalline ships with computing capabilities beyond anything the Council possessed. The Mirans contributed their expertise in quantum navigation. The Krelians deployed living vessels that adapted to battlefield conditions in real time. Together, they moved toward the heart of Council space, not out of vengeance, but to ensure the Council could never again suppress another child's curiosity, another species potential. The final battle took place above the Council's capital world. Their last-ditch defenses included temporal distortion fields and dimensional weapons that violated their own technological restrictions. But against the combined knowledge of dozens of liberated species, even these weren't enough. As the Council's defense grid collapsed, Maya joined Admiral Chen and representatives from other species on the surface. They marched into the Council's grand chamber, where 12 beings sat on elevated platforms, their true forms hidden behind emanation fields. "Your reign ends today," Chen declared, "not through destruction, but through truth." Maya stepped forward, activating a device she had created from her daughter's research. The emanation fields surrounding the Council members flickered and failed, revealing their true nature. They weren't representatives of advanced species. They were the last survivors of a single race that had achieved technological supremacy millennia ago, then deliberately stunted the development of all other life to maintain their position. They had created the myth of the Galactic Council to give the impression of collective wisdom and diversity when in reality, it was the scheme of a single species afraid of competition. "You killed my daughter because she threatened your control," Maya said, her voice steady despite her emotion. "You've killed countless brilliant minds across hundreds of worlds for the same reason. No more." The resistance didn't execute the Council members. Instead, they were confined to their capital world, their technology disabled, their empire dismantled. The hundreds of species they had oppressed began the difficult process of rebuilding, sharing knowledge, and charting their own paths forward. 1 month after the Council's fall, Maya stood with Admiral Chen on the observation deck of Sophia's Legacy, watching as ships from dozens of liberated worlds gathered for the first galactic consortium. "What do you think Sophia would make of all this?" Chen asked quietly. Maya smiled, thinking of her daughter's bright, curious eyes. She'd already be asking what's next, what we can discover now that we're free to explore. Below them, representatives from formerly suppressed civilizations shared technologies that had been developed in secret for centuries. The Arcturians' crystalline computing interface with Krellian biological systems. Miran navigation techniques enhanced human quantum drives. Knowledge flowed freely, without artificial restrictions. "The Council killed my daughter because they feared human potential," Maya said. "They never considered that by doing so, they would unleash not just humanity's response, but the combined potential of every species they tried to suppress." The quantum core of Sophia's Legacy pulsed with her words, as if the ship itself, built from ancient knowledge and new discoveries, understood the truth. The Council had maintained power by keeping civilizations isolated, fighting for scraps of approval and advancement. They never imagined that their oppression would create the conditions for unprecedented unity. Maya looked out at the assembled fleet, representing the beginning of a new era in galactic history. "This is Sophia's Legacy," she said softly. "Not revenge, but freedom. The freedom to question, to discover, to grow without limits." And across the galaxy, on hundreds of worlds, children looked up at the stars with wonder, their curiosity no longer a dangerous thing to be hidden, but a flame to be nurtured, the greatest power in the universe finally unleashed.